What about fluency? You had talked about when we talked about phonological awareness that when
Hmm.
you're reading out loud to a child or those first components, those setting up components, that how you read is how your child mimics. And
Mm.
I love that because I never even really thought about that. But I would always make playful voices and try
Hmm.
to make it engaging so that my
Well,
children felt like it wasn't just words on the paper. But how do you help a child develop that fluency for themselves?
in order to get fluent, they have to do a lot of reading. So, and they have to do reading of things that are on their level. So if you are, you're always going to be introducing new material to stretch them, but you're not going to want to introduce more than one concept in a session. So, you're going to want to be recapping all those things that they've already learned. And so one of those things, a good strategy for fluency is repeated reading. So if you're having them read a book, then sometimes I have kids read that same book back to me in the same session. Like the first time they're sounding everything out and they're kind of struggling with it. And then the second time through, they're reading it a lot better. Now, obviously, if it's a really long book, they're not going to be reading the whole thing. But, I like to use like the Bob books and the little readers, and then also, short passages. And so they might struggle through it the first time, but I'll have them read it again. And then I might have them read it again the next time that I have a session. So, or they may take it home, if it's a tutoring student, they may take it home and need to read it 2 or 3 times before they come back to me. If it's my own child, I may just pick up the next session and have them read it again. So, that's one thing. Yes, sight words, accumulating sight words, and also sight phrases. So again, on fcrr.org, they have, I think the first, second, or the second, third grade and the fourth, fifth grade, they have sight word phrases. And so there's an area, I think, marked fluency activities. And so there's all kinds of things in there that are wonderful. But these sight phrases will be things that you would see a lot when you're reading, whether it's a book or whether it's directions to something. It might say what time is, and then another saying might be, and that's a good one you just pulled up. That's not the one, but keep it up there because that's a really good one. But yeah, so there might be just a lot of different 3-word phrases that you would do on flashcards, just like you would do just a single word sight words. That one is really, I love that one. And there's a lot of those on that website. And then there's a whole book called Reading Pathways that also has those. So basically the top line, if you want to scroll up a little bit, or scroll down, I guess, you'll see the top line has just one word and then it adds a word each line until you get a whole sentence at the bottom. And so, and this, same thing with this Reading Pathways book, and it'll have it has the same exact kind of thing. Okay. So they know those words really well by the time they get to the bottom line, because they're only adding one word each line and they're rereading a whole lot of those same words. So that's a way to work on fluency. Timed readings. There is a website, which is EasyCBM, www.easycbm.com, that I use. Now that you can get a free account on that, or you can subscribe to it, but you can time their reading. I would say no more often than every 2 weeks, but you time them and you can see how they progress in their fluency. And there's 1 minute timed readings and then 1 minute timed sight words. And you'd have to sign up for an account in order to really see what it's got in there. But trust me, it's a really good, especially because it's free. And CBM stands for curriculum-based measurement. So basically what it does is it does it on grade level skills. But at the end it tells you what the end of the year skills are. It tests them on the end of the year skills. So you're testing them all throughout the year on what they should know by the end of the year. And so you should see an upward trajectory throughout the year. But I don't necessarily look at it that way as much as just kind of getting an idea of, is there progress being made? So there's fluency passages, comprehension passages. There's quite a few different things. There's math on there too. So I think that's a really great one. Yeah. So those are just a few things, but the key to fluency is, the major key is having them read a lot, reread the same material, and reading on their level, not above it.
So what you're saying is, you know, those library books that our kids want to read over and over and over again, that's a good thing. Yeah. Even if it drives us crazy.
As long as they're reading it over and over again, it won't drive, you know, if you're reading it over and over again, it'll really drive you crazy.